and I'm sure for most of you here. So before I go into my slide proper, I'd like to ask a question. How many of us have been house hunting recently? When I mean recently, I'm talking about months ago. Or how many of us are currently house hunting? Or how many of us know someone who's currently house hunting? Show of hands. Okay, I can see a few hands. Oh, awesome. So, how has the experience been for you? Anybody? Not so great. Okay, so can you go to the next slide? Right, good. So this image here represents the frustration of house hunters, especially if you're in Lagos. I personally have gone through this, even in a terrible way. Mine wasn't even rental, mine was sales. So when you're talking about sales, you're talking about, say, we got defrauded of close to like, say, 30M, right? So it was not a pleasant experience. And growing up as a child, seeing that experience, I told myself I wanted to become the president of Nigeria, hoping I could change that. But I don't know how that was working well for me right now. So what are the 3 core problems we're trying to solve at Oikus? So the first is trust and security lacking. And we discovered that 7 out of 10 property seekers have experienced rental or purchase fraud and losing money to fake listings. And we see some of the existing property listing sites are known more or less as bait sites, right? Another issue we're trying to solve is inefficient search, which overwhelm users. You go to some of these property listing sites and you're just overwhelmed by the listings you're seeing there, right? And we discovered as well that a lot of people, close to 50%, abandon their search online. So they go online to search for properties, but at some point, they actually just leave the property platform. And the last one which we're trying to solve is another important issue that we've discovered. And we discovered that some of these verified agents are not even properly compensated. So we are all quick to pass the blame to agents. But then again, there are some house hunters that are not even doing right. So we're also trying to solve that issue to help agents that face wasted effort and unfair treatment. And what is the big issue generally? We discovered that close to 6+ weeks I spent house hunting, and in Lagos alone, there's been cases of close to 1,700 plus reported scam. And we know that data is a major problem in Lagos or even in Nigeria. So we know that this number is really, it's not what it is. It's more than, way more than, right? And of course, we have close to $10 billion losses nationwide. So how are we solving this problem? And I'll be showing you in the demo today. So we're having a personalized, verified property matching powered by AI, which is going to be helping people find the right property 5 times faster. We're also using real-time video listings, which will save you and reduce in-person visit by close to 45%. Another thing that is really interesting for us is also having a regulated and verified agency system network with escrow service. And with this, you're sure of 100% verified transaction. So I'll be going into the demo today. And what I'll be showing today is sort of like, I'm not going to be showing what we've built. I'll show you what we've built, but I'll show why we built what we built, right? So yes. So yeah, you can play the video. So this is what we've built. We've built Oikus to be a social-led property marketplace that is going to be connecting house hunters locally and in diaspora with verified properties. So on the search, you're able to see property listings. You're able to see both the interior decor as well. So we're not stopping at just the properties as well. You're also able to search and book a tour. So as you book a tour, you're able to see various properties that meet your demand. And the search icon is actually smart. So meaning just with a simple search, as simple as I want a 3-bedroom close to a lakeside or something, and it's able to bring up all of those data that's useful for you. Please could you pause at the Oikus score? So one of the things that is very important for us is verification, right? Another thing that is very important to us as well is the right data. So what we are doing at Oikus as well is to go through some of this listing and put a score to it. So you'll notice here we have quality listings, right? So we rank or we give ratings based off of what of the things we've examined. So like the listing quality. We look at the market fairness as well. We look at property condition and amenities, and we look at property location. And we all know that for product leaders like us, we prioritize the right environment, we prioritize the right place as well. So we're going to be saving time for whether you're a property owner, right, or a house hunter, to make the journey really interesting. And there's something we say at Oikus, is that we're not just changing how you find these properties, but we're changing how you feel about finding these properties. So yes, this is also some of the properties you see. You can see you can also book a tour, so you earn coins. So we're trying to gamify the entire process generally as well. And you can see the environmental factor as well. For some of us that are talking about pollution earlier, we're able to now tell you this axis has, the air pollution is fair enough, is good, the noise pollution, all of those things. We're able to carry out that data for you. So move forward, you can move forward. So yes, you book your listing, you confirm your tour, you see your upcoming tour. So we have agents that receive this tour and they schedule it for you, and you're able to now, yes, you're able to now book some of this tour and follow through. You have a code that you send to this agent. So what we're doing is you're also now able to checkmate the quality of this agent as well. So yeah, so completed tour. Right, yes, then you can also make an offer. So it's that simple. Great. Of course, you can also negotiate your price depending on the particular property as well. You see the application form. So it's pretty easy. So you don't have to do all of the running around and the traditional approach that we have currently. And everything is just done on your phone. Very easy and very exciting. So what I'm going to show you next now is what we've built, because I'm sure most of us are asking now, okay, where are you guys? So I'm going to be sharing where we are right now. And I don't know if you can move to, yes. So currently this is what we have. So we've built a powerful engine that is able to scrape all listings currently in Nigeria. And as we speak right now, we've been able to scrape close to 120,000 listings. And we discovered that when our engine scraped it and we're able to clean this, we discovered that only 45,000 of these listings were actually genuine, right? So there's some of us who go online and, we spend endless times searching for properties, and some of them are not even genuine. They're not verified. So our system is able to automatically scan through, clean this thing, flag duplicated listing as well. So let's search. So I want a 3-bedroom apartment in Lagos with a budget of, say, 3 million. Let's search now. Yeah. With a budget of 3 million. Great. So it scans through several listing platforms. Sorry, I think Nigeria network is messing up, but we can hold on a bit. I have 6 minutes. Okay, I think this is network, but what I'm trying to say is that it's able to pull off these listings for you, and you're able to now pick the one you want, and you're able to now see the details of this property. Okay, I think it's a network issue. But basically, you're able to now see this verified listing. You're able to now see the score and the rating of this particular platform. And the most important thing is that you're now able to now book a tour. But one thing you should be sure of is that some of these properties currently on our platform have been pre-verified. Like I mentioned, we scraped close to 120,000 listings. And by the time we're cleaning all of this, it came down to 45,000. What is this trying to say? Some of the listings, some of the sites and property sites that you see are mostly bait sites. But what we're selling to you at our MVP stage is verified property. So you can be sure that properties here on the platform have been pre-verified. Then should you show interest, you're able to now go into the verification process properly. I think network is really horrible. So I'll just move to my next slide. Okay, so should you be ready to move? Are you considering to move? I think the professor has advised that you should consider Oikus. Thank you so much.
When they call you, no answer. I say we can call you some more. Yeah, you leave me no choice, so very soon I go up here for your demand. And you had that tight dress on. When I saw you last night at the club, even though I had my dark shades on, I was looking at you all night long. I'm in the middle of the street. How did I ever let you leave? Oh no, why did I drink this Hennessy? Then I don't know what come over me. And I just want to make you don't want to lose it to nobody. No.
Just a round of applause, please. We can do better than that, please. A round of applause for Israel Ihaza, who is the founder of, he said the name. Oikus, there we go. Oikus, thank you so much. A round of applause, please. Thank you. Now it gets us to the part where is the hackathon finale. And this one is, remember that there are now, this time around, they have talked about they've given us your 5 minutes demo, their demonstration over there where they talked about their apps and what they intend, the solution, or rather the problem that they are trying to solve. There's no network here, mommy.
To survive, I have to go outside in the rain. I get high just to minimize the pain. No one mind to pick with the size in the wind. You live a life how you decide to get free. Anytime when they try to slide in my head, I shut down, you will stay behind me. Now I wish I knew all these things back in the days. Maybe many things forever happen to me. It's always love from me anytime you buy it. Do what you got to do, my God, cause I know feedbacks, no feedbacks, and I know feedbacks for you. I'm on no feedbacks, no feedbacks, and I know feedbacks for you. Life is not easy, my brother. You find your own, me and they find my own. If I just keep on my distance, they are put
all right. Before I bring the teams for the hackathon, I would like for us to just I would like to crave your indulgence and also your attention to all of our exhibitors that were outside, and they would like to just come on here and tell you about their products and their services, if you do not mind. Okay? So to begin with, let me introduce on the stage the good guys at Skillladder. There we go. A round of applause, please, for them as they make their way. Well, I don't know. Is this stable? Is this stable? Please, let's clap, please. Thank you.
Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? Are you guys like really tired? Is only one person answering. Are you guys like really tired? 2 people. Are you guys really tired? Should we all start jumping? No, I'm not gonna ask anybody. Hi, my name is Kende Banasco. I am the founder at Skillladder.ai. What is Skillladder? How many of you here have jobs or have worked at some point in time? How many of you have gone to university? Nobody here. Okay. How did you choose what you studied in school? If you failed and just had to choose a course, please put your hand up. Not failed. If you didn't get your cutoff mark. If you didn't get the course you wanted, put up your hand. If your parents told you what to study, put up your hand. Okay. If when you were studying what you were studying, you really hated it, but you just had to push through, please put up your hand. Wow, so all the other people here, you were product managers in school. Anyway, so Skillladder is a skill ladder. Essentially, what it helps you do is understand your strengths, your competency areas, and help you get some insights onto what sorts of careers you should go into. The big problem that we're trying to solve is credibility gap for entry-level talent. If you have had a first job before, How many of you got it just based on your CVs? Your auntie didn't talk to anybody, your uncle didn't talk to anyone. Just your CV. Bado. How come? Tell us now. Did you come, were you like outstanding senior or something like that? Okay, you're an outlier. That's why you're the only one that put up your hand. So essentially, a lot of entry-level talent have problems trying to get into the workforce, right? Because they pretty much don't have any work experience or anyone to vouch for them. What Skillladder is doing is we're generating custom assessments for whatever job industry you're trying to go into to help you get a sense of how ready you are for the job. So for you as talent, you feel confident enough to actually go in there and say, yes, this is what I can do. And then as me, the employer, what I'm able to see is what role is a best fit for you, right? So I don't want to see your ChatGPT resume. I can just actually give you a Skillladder assessment, right? And yes, we can use AI to game systems, but we can actually proctor. So while the person is taking the assessment, we view you. Secondly, you're not allowed to like copy and paste. So there are a few security things that stop you from like cheating through the test. And I know nobody needs to, but essentially it just gives you a good sense of what you can do as talent, and then for the employer, what your strengths are. So if you'd like to try a Skillladder assessment, our QR code is just on our table. Just come through. You start off with a little RIASEC, which allows you to like think about your strengths, your interests, and then from there you do a skill assessment for one of the roles. So at least you get a sense of what you're great at and what you're not great at, whether it's product management, whether it's UI, UX. There's different competencies within each role that you need to master to say that, yes, you are job ready. So please feel free to stop by our booth. Thank you.
All right, so our next exhibitors will be sports. Hopefully I got that correctly. Where are they? Sports or Spuds?
I go along on a glide for the hell of it. I bring a different vibe when I'm stepping in. If going. Everybody know for sure I'ma take it there. So close it is and dot your eyes when you're messaging. I never subscribe to guys on the internet. Never for the clout telling lies to the press again. But don't take me for the fool, I never been. Don't bother with lies, I'm wise when I'm checking them. I'm redirecting them back to the sender man. Then you go see reality, go start arresting them. Feel I see them not here when I was standing there. Life real, I never like to.
Hi everyone, good evening. So I'm talking about Sportex, and at Sportex we are helping African businesses build better teams. At Sportex, we are providing the tools and the data that businesses need to build better teams. So at Spurt, we do consulting, we offer business advisory services, and we've been able to speak to a couple of clients over the years, and we've noted that some of their problems, most of their problems, include like setting up established processes, getting the right talent and getting them faster, being able to even retain like their best clients. So what we do at Sportex is to build the products that would enable people building the products that would enable businesses build better teams, because you'd acknowledge that even if you are the most brilliant person, you cannot build a product alone. You need to work with other people, and you need to collaborate perfectly with other people for your business to be profitable. So at Sportex, we have built a tool that would enable you recruit talent faster. We have built a tool that would enable you retain your talent. So the tool recommends the talent, the employee that has done the most work or that has provided quality work for that month, and are able to reward that employee and award that employee, or even flag underperforming employees. At Sportex, we've also built a tool that would enable you appraise your employees. So there's a peer-to-peer appraisal. There are situations where you can use the tool to conduct inter-department and intra-department appraisals. And then there's our flagship product, a project management tool that enables you manage large products. You're able to create these projects, invite team members, assign milestones, and monitor the progress of this project, and you are even able to do so while like getting details like data into their performance. You're able to know who like which of your team member contributed the most that particular month. You're able to know how long it will take for you to complete a project, and yeah, most of those things. So the problem still exists. I would love to give you a quick demo right now of how it works, or I am unable to. So the problem still exists actually, where you want to establish a business, but you are not able to establish the right thing that would help you achieve your product vision. So at Sportex, we have built the tool that would help you do that. Thank you.
A round of applause, please, for Sportex. There we go. A round of applause, please. There we go. All right. I think that's all the exhibitors we can take for now. Let's move on to a hackathon finale demos. Like I said earlier, they came on and they shared all 2 teams, although we have one in South Africa, but the 2 that we have here in Nigeria, they shared the problem that they are trying to solve. One was food with small-scale farmers and how they can bring their end products to consumers. And then the second was on fake and counterfeit substandard drugs and how they can solve that problem. We also have one and another team in South Africa as well. So for this hackathon finale demo, it's going to be a pitch competition, and the prize is $100,000. All right, the Benjamins, baby. So they got 10 minutes demos from we're going to do 10 minutes from each team, and they're going to come on and share what they have. Okay, guys, I need you to pay rapt attention to them, undivided attention, and give them the support when needed. If they ask a question, please be yielding an answer. Okay, let's wrap them up. It's 100K. I beg. Please, can we do that? People's futures and jobs are on the line. All right, let's get ready. My hackathon team's on standby. Are you guys ready? Are you there? Without further ado, please help me welcome our very first team to come on. Team Nigeria, that's team 2 from Nigeria. The problem, smallholder farmers lose produce before they can sell. Where are they? Team 2. Guys, are you ready? A round of applause, please, as they're coming on, please. We made an agreement now. Yeah. The other one.
So, good day, everyone. My name is Antonio Gabriel once again, and we're happy to meet you again this afternoon. So this time I'm here with 2 of my teammates, David and Joseph. So we actually meant to demo our, our product on the screen. So I don't know if... Okay, thank you. So, as we've discussed in the morning, the wicked problem today in Africa that we are trying to solve is as regards post-harvest loss. But we are focusing on smallhold farmers. Like I mentioned, with core evidence that Nigeria has millions of smallhold farmers, and our goal is to help them reduce post-harvest loss. So basically, we are solving three core issues. These farmers get access to trusted buyers. They get to sell their product early. They get to get proper income, and at the same time, reducing post-harvest loss across board. Thank you. So we want to demo our app here to just make it like a video walkthrough for.
You had the chase, I swear to go, I'm going your way. I'm feeling it top of my mind, baby, know the look time. I go through your days, I'ma make it right now. You did give me love, I know what we buy up. With a different realm, with a different time zone. The ladies so much greater, I'm like, not only you, they make my world go. As long as we get days, I'ma make it right now.
So to just engage us before we probably sort this. So this is the story that actually came behind Avion Market actually. So when we all met as a team, our initial ideas, like I remember, was for Avion Market to just be more of like a app that solves logistics issues for farmers, because we realized that why most of these smallhold farmers, at the end of the day, when they harvest their crops, say for perishable products, 40 to 60% of it is lost every day. Like I mentioned the other time, if you go to the market and you buy tomato, I mean, sometimes there's not even light at home, so I really just put them in your refrigerator. So by tomorrow morning, what happens to the perishable product? It starts what? Spoiling, which is the problem is there. So we're thinking, okay, how do we help farmers? Because most of the time, when they harvest this crop, one of the issues they have is transporting them from the farm to the market. Sometimes before they transfer this product from farm to market, it's already spoiling on the way. Even by the time they get to the market on the days, probably on every market that they take their product to the market, they don't even sell more than 40% of it. The other ones that they can't sell up, do they take it back to the market, or they sell it at lower prices, or they give it out? For people that travel out, that travels along a lot of locally in Nigeria on the road, if you go to some specified farming areas, in the evening, just see farmers putting their perishable products by the road. So people come and pick it off because they couldn't sell them, they just leave it there. So we thought about this, okay, how can we solve this problem for these farmers? So we went deep down into detail. Like I always mentioned, the devil is in the what? Is in the details. So we went to these communities, went to Isheyin, Ibora, Shaki, low communities, like these farmers, non-educated ones, wanted to hear from them. What is the problem you face every day when it comes to harvesting your crops, your produce? What are the solutions you probably expect from them? We saw like over 10 farmers across board, which was a mix of 6 females and 4 males. Because at the same time, like the farming sector has a high number of females, so we are trying to be like gender neutral, like understand from each point of view. Most of the farmers said they will actually love the fact that when they get to take their products off, maybe before the D-Day, they can get people to come and buy this from them, not just ordinary people, and not just middlemen, because at the end of the day, they don't have any choice to sell this product. So middlemen comes off to them, buys of these products at very, very unfair prices, and they pay them off. But having to mind that these farmers, even before they harvested their crops, they've already gone on credit to collect out to farm, maybe for fertilizers, maybe for doing everything. So they are making a small revenue out of what they actually grew up. they grew. And at the same time, out of this small revenue, they're spending like 10 to 20% of it on transportation and every other thing. So what comes to the farmer? They lose, they earn small, and at the end of the day, this cycle keeps continuing. And if your market is here to solve part of that problem. So we hope by that time we are able to demo our app, but I'll try as much as possible to make this as realistic, as future as possible. So one of the solutions that API Market is doing is the fact that we are solving three main issues. The place of trust. Why we had a user's interview with these farmers, they also mentioned that one of the problems they face is the fact that they don't just trust people. If they are going to use a digital app, because most of the time, the experience for years, even before their forefathers, is that they take their product to the market on the days, they give them cash, they give them the product, and everybody is done. So are they going to trust the data system? Everybody will come, they put their product down, somebody transfers to them. What if it doesn't go? None of us, yes, we have the stories of you transfer from GT to MoneyPoint to OPay. You have to go back to back after 7 days to look for your money. I don't think those farmers have that time. So we knew the issue of trust, the issue of logistics, and so the issue of solving how to reduce post-harvest, especially focus on perishable products. So this is where AVL Market come in. So this is AVL Market. We are actually meant to demo it in the screen for everybody to see, but it seems like that is a problem, so I have to continue this way. So the way AVL Market works is it connects farmers and buyers. And how does that work? So whereas that for farmers to use this app, it has to be as seamless as possible. It doesn't have to be very, 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 very hard because, like I mentioned, most of them are not digitally literate. They have to solve this problem. So you log in AVL Market in two ways, as a farmer or as a buyer. If you're logging in as a farmer, it's just your name. Another thing also is that most of these farmers, they can't even spell their name. They just know them, so they even know their full name. So, okay, just put in your name and your phone number. Before you know it, okay, let's say my name is Adamu, and my phone number is there. Before I know it, even email uses. Okay, thank you. Sorry, this is not what we are. No, this is not the demo. Don't worry, we'll just continue with this. This is not the demo we wanted to use. In your farm name and location of your farm. I might be a farmer that have a farm in Shaki. I'm also having a sharing. Why we are building AVL Market? We realize that for farmers to work with agri centers, like I mentioned, there's a type of geolocation navigation system. We don't want it to mix up. So if you come onto the AVL Market, you have like multiple farms. You can log in on any farm you want. So it's working based on your location for that particular farm. Probably you're looking for a cold region to put your produce, but you're in Shaki. If you log in on your second farm, it knows that you're not in Shaki. Your second farm is in Oyo. So it's giving you location based on aggregate market, code up regions within that particular region, so it doesn't get mixed up. So you put your location, say it is Ibadan, to log in into AVL Market, and before you know it, you are in on the app. So what makes AVL Market very seamless for the farmer? So let's assume I'm into tomato making, and say in the next 1 month, my tomato is going to be harvested, it's ready. I can come on AVL Market and list my produce. You take a picture of your farm, you upload it, and before you know it, you put it there. You also put the name of your produce. Is it tomato? And what goes it? The price you want to sell it, the quantity you want to sell, when it's going to be available, your location, and you can just list your product. And once you list your product, notification goes up to every buyer, whether it's a processing plant, whether an aggregate store, whether it's a code up region. Like I said, before the D date. So you know that, okay, before the harvest date, my product is going to be bought by these selected people. So other things that make AVL Market very easy is the fact that after uploading your product, you get to get offers of views on the app. What does that mean? So if I upload my product, I can get offers from like say 6 to 7 people, and I start checking their offers. Okay, this is the offers I have. I can come on my app and say, okay, somebody said he wants to buy, but they are not buying that 60,000. They want to buy it at 50,000. Are you accepting the offer? Are you rejecting the offer? Or do you want to counter your offer? Okay, why don't I collect 60,000? I don't want to pay it at 80K. So another importance of AVL Market is the fact that it comes with an AI predicted price. Like I mentioned the other time, if you look at this dashboard, you can see an increase in 60% from yesterday. On AVL Market, there's a 24 hours price prediction every day, like I mentioned. Why is this? What if today I come on the app and I'm saying, okay, my tomato is 11,000 naira per basket? What if tomorrow something happens and say maybe fuel or there was a rise in stock exchange? I mean, things started changing. So at the end of the day, realize that how do we solve this problem? So every day, we have a machine learning algorithm, an AI model that learns continuously from farmers' input. It's not external. So if all of us are in Lagos, you're in Surulere, I'm in K2, I'm in this thing, and I'm putting my price of tomato at different prices, is there live real prices that is coming into the farmers every day? So you say, okay, today in the past 24 hours, farmers limited these prices on this thing, and it works. Okay, sorry. Okay. So back to what we're saying. So another thing we can do on Avio Market is we can track your orders as a farmer or as a buyer. If you upload your code and you've already made payment, you can see orders being moved from that location to where it is going. There is a logistic partner that we are working with to make it very seamless for the farmers. Remember, one of the problems we are trying to solve for farmers is the problem of logistics. Most of them spend a lot of their revenue from transporting the goods from what? From the farm to whoever is buying it. According to FAO and National Bureau of Statistics, it is seen that most of them have spent close to 10 or 20% of their revenue on transporting groups alone. On transporting these groups alone. So before I will hand over to my teammate to continue what our idea is about. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Good day. My name is David. I'm a AI and cloud engineer. So on Avium, we have been able to implement an AI chatbot that serves as a personal assistant and as a customer service as well. So if you look at my screen here, you're going to see this is an interface for a chatbot. This was built with Gemini LLM, and it was trained with some data that was synthetically generated. So I have some prompts here. Okay, let me just go to the core features of the assistant. Number one is it is able to understand indigenous languages like Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. If I was permitted, I would have shown us a demo of how it works. So you legit send it your prompts in another language, say Yoruba or Igbo, Hausa, and it replies you also in Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa. So it is able to understand indigenous languages for farmers that are not well educated. And also it serves as a personal assistant. Say, for example, you prompt it to give you some tips on how to process your onions, how to preserve it before it is transported. It is able to also assist you with that by giving you tips as well. And also, we implemented some sort of a USSD interface, which I would have also loved to demo. So it's basically everything that's on the app, but in USSD format. So you're able to see your offering, you're able to bargain price, you're able to counter prices, you're able to list orders and have all sort of other features. Just basically everything on the application, but in USSD format. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say. I'll call on my teammate now to conclude it. Thank you.
Okay, so what's next for Avon Market? So over the next 1 to 2 months, we are going to focus on finishing up the MVP. And during that period, we'll also be reaching out to aggregation centers and production facilities that we can partner with, as well as logistics services that we can partner with, right? And then after that, we'll launch a pilot phase, which will run for like 3 to 6 months. And this pilot phase will be, this pilot phase will be limited to Oyo State. That's where we're starting from. And we picked Oyo State because it's kind of a sweet spot where there are enough, it has a lot of land, right, that's used for farming. And it's also close to a lot of production facilities and aggregation centers. So it's a very good place to start. And during this pilot phase, we're going to test out some of our more experimental features. We're going to try including, okay, I'm sure you're wondering why we bothered with a chatbot. It might not seem like something that farmers would use, but it's quite important for where we want to go, because eventually we want to have a voice-based AI agent that we can use. So that just is one way, a new way of interacting with the app that I feel like most farmers will be comfortable with. And we also want to experiment with using improving our price predictions to be based on environmental factors too, like the weather and other things that are not so easy to predict, right? And if we are able to do that, these are things that we want to see in practice. You can't get this data by just interviewing users, right? And watching them use your app. You have to see them use it over time. So after the pilot, that's what the pilot phase is basically for. And then after that, we'll expand to the whole of Nigeria and Africa as a whole. Thank you.
So thank you very much. So before I wrap it up, what makes the Avium team so capable? Apart from being the team lead, while in the university, I have opportunity to work on various projects like post-distributed management monitoring of pearl fortified crops across various locations in Nigeria. And at the same time, I worked as an intern for FAO for a period of time. Also on my team, I have Joseph, who is currently an intern at Meta. We have David, who is an AI and ML person. So everybody on the team are a robust set of people that are core experts in this particular field. I'm also looking forward to expanding to more people to make Avium market better. Thank you.
Got the long truck, girl, I'm coming your way. The body don't catch me, move it. Count on me, make you best me, your way. Now you could tell I recast me, I gotta rotate, get a little shape.
Okay, hi, my name is Tolu. You mentioned about scaling, and I think you mentioned just Oyo State. What are the rest of the world? Or are you just solving for just Nigeria?
Okay, so we're targeting mainly Africa as a whole, right? But we want to start from Oyo State for the pilot phase because we've noticed that there are a lot of experimental features that we want to try out. So,
okay, so to reinforce that, like I mentioned, the agricultural sector is a very, very core ecosystem. The problems identified in Kaduna are not the ones identified in Oyo State, are not the ones you see in Sokoto, and not even the one you see in the food basket state of the nation. So piloting Oyo State give us insight to how much problem we'll be facing along the line. Like I mentioned, we are starting small. Once our model does very well, we scale up to the whole Southwest, we scale up to the whole Nigeria, and if when God wishes, we scale up to the whole of Africa to solve Africa's biggest problem. Thank you.
Well done. I love what you guys have done. My first question, I'm curious, right? What does Avium mean? The name of what does it mean? And then secondly, I was just thinking about when are you guys coming to Oyo? And then you mentioned Oyo is going to be your first point of pilot testing. I'm like, wonderful. So when exactly are you coming to Oyo? Because I know a couple of farmers who would love what you guys have. And then the last question, what's the last question? I can't remember the last question. I had 3 questions.
Okay, thank you. So Avium means longevity, actually. And the team right now, we've...
Hang on. I need you to spell Avon.
A-E-V-U-M. Avium. A-E-V-U-M. Yeah, it means longevity. It's a Greek word. And so we are coming to... Actually, like I said, before we develop the app, we have to go into Oyo State, various parts in Oyo State to like talk to people and interview them, majorly call farmers. So we are still coming back again to relate with them and get to hear more about the user testing of the app. Thank you.
Last, between farmers and buyers, right? You have a chatbot, but can a farmer call a buyer and can a buyer call a farmer to make, you know how it is on maybe Bolt or Uber? You're ordering a ride and then Alpha, where are you? Blah blah blah. This and it's faster. I'm just saying, like, does that also? Are you guys thinking about that?
Okay, so for now, we really can't see it. We are not implementing that on the app here because, like I mentioned, it's a whole process. We are trying to curtail things in process, but with something that things we are considering in the future. Maybe if it works, we'll implement it. Thank you.
Hi guys. I think I already had like a conversation with one of you. I think it's a great idea. My question would be, you mentioned there are a lot of middlemen, and I think there are a lot of examples where this particular problem has been attempted in other regions, especially in West Africa. I think one, it would be good to look at like how those guys approached it, but specifically, I want to find out: are you guys including the middlemen, or you are displacing the middlemen?
Okay, thank you. So based on the experience we've had and conversations we have with these farmers, thankfully, due to the Innovate Africa, during our sprint, we were asked to have a core conversations with the users for our products. One of the things almost 90% of the farmer mentioned was the fact that middlemen are always coming to take off their products at unfair prices. And we are trying to solve that problem for them because the core is to solve the problem for the farmer. So we are not implementing middlemen at that particular point at all for the app. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, so my question is around verification of users and their claims. So you're dealing with farmers stating that, oh, I have tomatoes and it will be ready at a certain point. You didn't mention like a system in place to verify like this information that have been placed there, and also like what is the process of payment? So I've paid for tomatoes that is to be harvested in there's the risk of these are products that are dependent on nature and all other factors. How do you intend to like mitigate that risk and also ensure that the claims are verified and the handover process is like it happens, like I've paid and I receive what I got, and it's exactly that, especially looking at all the external factors that you don't have control over.
Thank you so much. So one of the things we realize is why creating AVM market is that we cannot digitalize every solution. I mean, the face Nigeria economy is, especially the agricultural sector of Nigeria, it crosses across a lot of places. So if a farmer is uploading their crop in the next 1 month, one of the things that makes AVM market work is that we will be making use of on-the-field agents to verify your product. So it won't be like if I will just come and upload a product that is fake, you get your money in your account, and when it comes to the buyer, it's not working. Because this is the model we can develop so far. And this model has actually worked in other parts of Africa too, whereby agents have been sent into farming locations to confirm if what they have been sent works. Also at the same time, in terms of logistics too, it's like if you order something on Jumia, not Temo, eventually, Jumia, whereby if you order a particular product, you are buying a freezer, right, or a car, quantity too. The driver is checking what you are bringing and they are checking into what you are paying for. So it won't be like maybe from where they are picking it off, it doesn't tally with what the logistic company is giving the driver wherever it's bringing the product. So we are cutting off. I also plan on making a very, very robust and seamless escrow payment system, whereby when the money comes into the app, once the product has been very much verified, it drops to the necessary person. I hope I'm able to ask you a question.
How about the user as well? How can you verify the users to know that they are legit? Because you have situations where that could be like a security issue, where the users are just coming onto the app and then they have nefarious intentions.
Okay, thank you so much. So, like I mentioned, if you're looking onto the app, it comes in two ways, as a farmer and as a buyer. So in terms of being a farmer, first and said, before you start on the app, like I say, we're testing in Oyo State. What we're doing is a form of digital literacy for the farmers. This agent goes into this location and they onboard the farmers on how to use this app, because like I said, most of them are not literate. And these models have been successfully implemented in other parts of Africa, not even Africa alone, and other parts of the world, which has worked. So in terms of stopping the nefarious act of people, like I said, we are making use of trusted, maybe aggregate sessions, code up regions that we've validated, that we know okay, they are going to work. And that's why the scope payment also comes in. You can't just get a product if you don't get to pay, if you don't pay, and if you don't do it very well. Thank you.
Yeah, I really like the product because I tried it 6-7 years ago. It was called Market Messenger. It was really good. But logistics is probably one of the biggest issues. But from a founder to a founder, I'm trying to dash you this one. Your business model is where you. Yes, the question is around the business model. Yeah, your current business model, I personally think is faulty. I think it should be a B2C because you're still operating as a marketplace. Try a B2C business model. It's not a question; it's a contribution. You get, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Keep that in mind. Really appreciate it.
Let's keep our questions short and succinct, but there's no time.
Okay, so you said the people you're marketing to are local farmers here. So, and the regions are like rural areas. So have you taken into account network reception in those areas? Because these people actually, I said, have you taken into account network receptions in those areas? Have you taken into account network reception in those areas? Because you see people who are not computer literate, they're not tech savvy, and then they're using the app, but they are faced with network issues. Me, I'm going to fucking log out. Like, I'm going to log out of the app. Also, I have another question that I forgot. So,
okay.
Network connectivity, have you factored that into?
Yes.
your
So, like I
market
mentioned,
survey?
when we first built the app, those are the things we had user input to got from the farmers, because sometimes they can go from here to Asia, and get to the major network has gone. So one of the way we did the app was it worked in two modes. There's a USSD format for farmers that you can use. One also, we plan on making it so that I can. If you what's head of Kobo 2 box here? Yes, right. How does Kobo 2 box work? It can work in offline mode, right? You upload your product, when you get to where there's network, it goes in. So these two features are implemented into avian market to solve that particular problem of network connectivities for farmers. Thank you.
You are taking your product to the rural.
Oh, sorry.
If you are taking the product to the rural areas and they cannot read, how can they use the product?
Okay, so we're just going to, like what I can say, before we scale up the app, before you give it out, there are going to be onboarding agents in this rural area to give farmers digital literacy on how to use this app. And like I mentioned, these models have worked successfully in a lot of agricultural programs that has been done. Thank you.
Sorry. Anyway, I think that's all the time we can take. There's still more persons. I want to say thank you, guys. Team 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Well done. A round of applause for them, please. Thank you so much. Thank you. Up next is Team 3. Their solution to counter or to flush out fake and counterfeit substandard drugs in Nigeria. Please be on standby as we have our photos up with our participants from Team 2. There we go. You guys, hurry, please. Carry your leg, you're a big man. Hurry. There's no time. Thank you. Round of applause, please, for them, please. Thank you very much. All right. Team 9. Yeah, there we go. Their solution is in medicine and healthcare. How they can flush out fake and substandard drugs in Nigeria. A round of applause, please, as it comes on stage, please. We can do better than that, please. Please remember that we do have a time constraint. They have 7 minutes for presentation and 2 minutes for questions. If you're going to ask a question, please keep it succinct and short. Make sure to write it down. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to have us back. My name is Damilola Enolorida Oguneye. I am the team lead for Team 9, who is addressing one of the killer problems in Nigeria and in Africa, which is counterfeit drugs. Imagine losing your loved ones to counterfeit drugs. And this similar problem has affected Temilade, a 23-year-old university student who lost his sight to a drug he trusted. And this same problem is affecting over 500,000 Africans yearly, and it's taking their lives. Now, I don't know who is next. Is it me or you? This same killer problem is crumbling the pharmaceutical economy. Could you imagine over 4.8 million dollars was taken back as a counterfeit product in the last 3 years, and as AMPA about 500 has taken about 500 billion naira from local pharmaceutical products in Nigeria. Now that is why we are introducing VeryMed AI. A VeryMed AI is an artificial intelligence solution supported with blockchain to address this problem. Our AI analyze real-time, provide why the drug is fake, and giving insight on how user can identify fake products in the market. We are supporting this with blockchain, which every counterfeited product are being logged on our blockchain for regulatory to track hotspot area. Now, we are not just scanning, because during our market research, we discovered that there's a scan to verify by NAFDAC, which just scan only the barcode. We are not scanning the barcode. We are analyzing the package, analyzing the hologram, the shift, the lookalike fonts and icons, and taking down to explain to user why a drug is counterfeited. We are not just doing that. We also consider visual impaired people into our use case by giving them audio. They use a text-to-speech technology, giving audio and giving them insight on how a drug is counterfeited. And we tend to take this to local language, Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. Now, we also believe that this same solution can also provide regulatory agency with hotspot area, which they could easily recover counterfeited drugs without causing any harm. We need everyone on this. Now, in this, could you imagine? We have over 5,000 pharmaceuticals, over 5,000 pharmacies in Nigeria, and we have about 120 pharmaceutical industry in Nigeria, and we tend to capture just 2%. You get capture just 10% of these each different players, both the pharmaceutical industry and the pharmacist, because those are the key people that this is causing a lot of harm. Although they are the one to pay for the end user like us, because we believe you deserve safety, you deserve trust. They are the one to cater for those services. Now we need your support for our pilot solution, and also providing brand sponsor rollout, and in addition to that, giving a very verified AI sticker that one could leverage using USSD for those that find it hard to reach area like low internet. Now we need to scale up. It's a solution that is not just meant for Nigeria but also for Africa. Now, we need a sum of $50,000 US to take this solution to life. We believe in this innovation. We need your support just by scan, verify, and trust the solution that could save life. Thank you. Now we have a demo type, very easy to use solution. All you need to do is to take our mobile application, take it, scan it 3 times, which I can do, and automatically it will tell you to scan it 3 times. Next slide. Scan it and analyze the image and give more insight about why this drug is counterfeited or not counterfeited. And with our text-to-speech, by tapping this, it gives a clear analysis, even beyond this page, why this drug is authentic and is original and is safe for you to take. We believe a drug to save life, not to kill us. We need you everyone on board with this solution. In addition to this, we believe that we could provide hotspot area. This is where our blockchain comes in for tamper-proof. We believe we could cater for hotspot area and give insight to the regulatory body to cater for counterfeited products before it causes any, or counterfeited drugs before it causes any harms. You can see how a few numbers were scanned and they are being locked on this blockchain and the database. And because the tamper-proof, these are the log drugs and reasons why reasons why they are suspicious. And there's also counterfeited rules which we also try to consider as a little use case for this solution. But we tend to go beyond this for our first pilot solution. So that is all about Very-Med AI. Thank you.
And my girl take up and don't complain. When the body pull up, you take your my pain. And I know if it pass you like my Mary Jane now. Before this matter, you can take all my day now.
Say I if I get double my hustle, no me say I go die. If I get damn fresh, no me say I dey lie. Cause I dey try do the things where you know go fit to fine, and you know go fit to fine.
Hi, thank you so much for your pitch. I was just curious to understand a bit more about the team that put this together, and why exactly you all are drawn to addressing this problem.
Yeah, thank you so much. I've done a couple of research in healthcare, and I got a lot of certification in healthcare, and I have a passion to solve healthcare problem, even the likes passion to solve healthcare problem. And looking at a problem that is taking life on a yearly basis, that trigger us to see if this problem is not being addressed now, it could affect either me or you tomorrow.
Hi. Here. Thank you. Just to piggyback off what she just asked you, right? Do you want to talk us through the team and your experience as to why this is something that you can build?
Yeah, thank you so much. I have about 13 plus years experience in software development and artificial intelligence, with a couple of awards which I've gotten in AI and even for CI review in United States. So I have a team on board, a pharmaceutical expert who is giving us advisory insights on how to go, who work with regulatory body besides NAFDAC, who is giving us insight on how to go about this problem. So we also have a team of front-end developer, back-end developer, we have a UI UX, we have the product communication who has put this deck together. And as well, we believe that with this 7 team of mine, we could start something that will scale up to 12 teams going forward.
All right, no problem. Thank you. So I have a couple of questions. So my first question would be around your target audience. Now, I want you to walk me through who your ideal target market is. And also, the dashboard that you just demoed to us, whose dashboard is that?
Now, this dashboard we just demoed to us is a dashboard that the dashboard we tend to mimic data that could be insightful for a regulatory agents like NAFDAC, because at real time, once a counterfeited product is being scanned in the market, automatically it takes the image, it takes the information about it and log it on the blockchain, which could easily be accessed or accessible by the NAFDAC regulatory body or the regulatory body. So that addressed the dashboard. Then going by the target market, we are looking at everyone generally, but the focus right now is the pharmaceutical industry and the pharmacists, because they are the ones who will pay for these services mostly, because we believe taking a little portion, because we believe our solution has already about 500 billion is being lost in the last 3 years, not the last 3 years in the pharmaceutical industry. And we are saying that if we could save that, we could save you that a little amount for just 1,000, because we believe that we're getting us on board for infrastructure and training, which is 50 million naira, and annual renewal of 10 million. In that we could cater for almost the citizen of Nigeria. And additionally, we also take a little cut, about 10 naira to 500 from the pharmacists who are also losing their reputation, because who are also losing their reputation. Thank you.
It's okay.
Hi, you mentioned something about people paying for this service or this product.
but it's not quite clear how you make money, right? I think you mentioned a lot of things, but you didn't talk about your revenue model or how you intend to get money from this product.
Now, I think I've mentioned that earlier. We charge pharmaceutical industry 50 million naira and for the infrastructure, and we are giving them about 8,000 scan points, and going for renewal, we tend to charge them 10 million naira for the same. We can tend to increase based on the number of scan or the log or how because it's like software as a service. So how they tend to consume our resources, then we charge in that order. But as a unit, we charge 10 million naira for renewal. We charge 50 million naira for cost of infrastructure.
Okay, hi. So you mentioned that the dashboard would be for pharmaceutical industries.
Regulatory bodies like NAFDAC.
Okay, for regulatory bodies like NAFDAC.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to confirm that.
All right. Please, a round of applause, please, for Team 9. Their solution is pretty simple to address fake drugs and substandard drugs in Nigeria. A round of applause, please, for him. We can do better than that, please. There we go. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you. Our last team is in South Africa. Do we have them? Is that a yes? You have to come on, so. Where are the rest of your team? The rest of the team for Team 9, please step on stage. And we set for the good guys at SA. All right, once we're doing that, now do remember that out of all of the 3 teams that have demonstrated their apps and also presented to you the solution to the problem that they are trying to solve, there's going to be an announcement for the winner of the hackathon for this event. I know who I'm rooting for because I have 10 million, I have 10% in that amount. So I know who I'm rooting for a fact. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
And I don't go mind if you come to my place, so doing the things so you know, say I hate to buckle up chest, so no time to waste, so cause I be to fight for you one day, and I be to life for you one day, and I be to die for you one day, so baby girl, no use me, they play, say I, if I did double my hustle, no mean, say I go die, if I did damn fresh, no mean, say I did lie. Cause I dey try to do the things where you know go fit to fine, and you know go fit to fine. Cause I just wanna be with you, having fun time with the girls, but I just wanna be with you, doing everything for the gang, but I just wanna vibe with you.
I'm very thankful that there's an individual that is here who works with. Thank God I know so many things I want to say about this product because apparently the person is here. So I have a list of problems with this particular product. I'm really glad that this person is here because we're going to dig it out after. Hopefully he brought his boxing mittens because I also did as well. Is Loretta ready? Seem to be On the screen are the team 2 for the hackathon. They're from South Africa. Team 2, or rather Team 3 from South Africa, they are solving, the problem is lack of formal addressing in Africa. That's what they are solving. There you go. South Africa, they present address, which is a lack of formal addressing in Africa. Loretta, if you can unmute so we can hear you. I think we're also muted as well. Guys, unmute me. There we go. The good guys at Address Me, they are our team.
Hello, am I audible?
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, you are, Pumla.
Can everyone hear me?
Please let me know if you can see the pitch deck. I'm trying to show it now.
Loretta, can you hear us?
Can you see the pitch deck?
Can you hear us?
Right. Is Lucy on the call?
The good team at Address Me, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. All right, great. So you have the floor to start with your demonstration. You've got 7 minutes of demo and then 2 minutes of Q&A with the audience here in Lagos. Your time starts now.
So you can start now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hello, innovative judges and all respective delegates and guests. We are Team 3 from South Africa, and we're here to present Address Me, your one-stop to being findable. Now, to give you context, our country in the year 2019 was labeled the most unequal country in the world. We have about 11,000 non-traditional settlements existing nationwide. This means that so many people are living in informal and are given inadequate addresses. When we put them on Google Maps, it gives us a 2-hour drive inaccuracy. This is the real life of 2 million citizens in our country. They are just not findable. What this means is that they don't have access to healthcare, no policing, no career services, and ultimately no dignity. Ambulances, when they are called in, they get lost, and when they ask for directions, they get robbed. When it comes to waste services, they aren't being included in the pre-planned routes by our local governments. Therefore, their rubbish does not get picked up. When it comes to healthcare, they are not given a proof of address, therefore are denied access to healthcare, which is being funded by our government. Now, our solution is a web app that formalizes these non-traditional settlements by getting them accurately located on Google Maps and cuts the traveling time and costs to acquire a proof of address by 100%. Now, a given address is just some random number and your area, which means you're unfindable. With our solution, we are including the police as well as the community and the residents on one platform, super easy, super fast, and they're given a real address which can be used on real documents and can be found on Google Maps. How we get there is pretty simple. We get our collaborators like Google Maps, we get our they can even be funders like Takealot or Amazon, and they can provide us with the mapping tools to incorporate on our map, as well as getting funding from Takealot and Amazon, which in that way they are investing in a new market to have access to their services, which is e-commerce. Stage 2, we built the app. Stage 3, we get in line with our policing and our community leaders, get them onboarded. Then stage 4, it gets launched and the customers are able to use this app and get themselves mapped online. So how it works, they create an account, send an application, and then once it's approved by the community leader, they get a virtual police certification. Then that way they're able to download or have a permanent digital access to the proof of residence. What makes this special and what makes our solution so valuable is that it's a police certified proof of address, which means anywhere you go, it is viable to use healthcare, e-commerce, loans, whatever. Getting these people activated in the country's economy and getting them dignity. Now, this also democratizes pre-existing privatized police services, which is the virtual certification, which we call commissioning. And it's not just a pin location like in Google Maps. We are replacing the need for using a landmark to try and describe where you're living and where people can find you. Plus, this streamlines our governance and law enforcement. These tools exist, but they are not accessible to people living in low-income communities, just like our informal settlements. Insights from our users: meet this young gentleman who is living in a shack dwelling and also has a business there. He found the app easy to use. He saw how quickly it means the police and ambulance can find them, and he really saw the benefit of it and even wished us success to make it work. Our business model, we are looking at how to make this sustainable. We are going to be adding ad space, which means our local food and retail chain stores are able to market themselves to their customers, and then as well as getting fiscal sponsorships. So we have multiple NGOs who work in the disaster management and also to provide healthcare and food to women and children who are abandoned or refugees. Now, with their help, we're able to keep this app functional and operational. Scalability. Now, in most African cities, more than half of residents live in informal settlements with insecure tenure, a lack of basic services and infrastructure, and often unsafe housing. This exists everywhere: Freetown, Accra, Kampala, you name it. So this is a very easily scalable model, and we're able to provide it to our entire African continent. So our next steps. We are fundraising for $10,000 to get our web app MVP and also to begin our partnerships with Google SA and our National Police Service. And that's my amazing team. Thank you so much.
A round of applause, please. Do we have questions? Larissa, can you still hear us? Unfortunately, I think we'll leave it there. A round of applause once again for Loretto, please. Thank you.
This is wild. I was pitching up on myself.
Anyway, in the meantime, whilst we bring that down, remember that towards the end, we will announce the winners for this hackathon. But very quickly, we're still going to do more intros to all of our exhibitors who have been exhibiting, who have their stands outside. And we'll continue with our next exhibitor. Do we have them here? Walk Central. Where are they?
I think you can go on.
Okay. As my colleague Pula gave you a brief on our website, I'm gonna do a deep dive on our solution. So when users land on our page, the first thing they see is Address Me, your one-stop to being findable. So our first-time user, the first thing they're gonna do is click on the Let's Start button.
All right. Um,
Now you the cool my stress, so yeah. Make we go December. But some we call it we check. Got some things we to put on my head. Now you the cool my stress, so yeah. I'm in a big mood. Girl, I feel you.
So it's gonna be their name, their ID, where they from, yeah, all of that. Sorry, are you talking to me?
no, go ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
Okay. All right. So this is all the information our user will have to put into the website so that they can be recognizable by our counselor. And they have to insert an image of their ID. And yeah, so they're gonna have to agree to the terms and conditions before they can proceed. So okay. Gonna proceed to the next step because I'm already using a camera and can use it for more than one website. So this is where our user will land when they open the website after signing up. So when they first open their website, it's gonna say pending leader approval. So they're gonna have to wait till our leader approves. And yeah. So what we did with our website, because this is a demo, we didn't want to go through the whole waiting process. So for now, we're just gonna approve it. And also for the policeman also needs to approve. But again, because we don't have time for the entire process, going through interviews and all of that, yeah, I'm gonna try and approve now. Okay. Okay, I think we're having network issues. But yeah, basically that's how the entire website works. Once our user has been approved by the police and the counselor, they should be able to get their proof of address. They can just go here to access their proof of address. And that's the entire demo. Thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause, please, for the South African team once again. Please, can we just unmute so we can just say thank you? All right. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you. We're going to keep it moving. Up next, let's, whilst we bring that down. Again, South African guys, the address me. Many thanks for your demo. We appreciate you. And just in spite of all the technical glitches on your end, being able to still join us and make it work. And also well done and all the hard work that you're doing. And congratulations. And we'll move on swiftly now to our next exhibitors showcase. Joining us to come on stage is the good guys at Worknigeria. That's their website is www.worknigeria.com. Their job is to discover stellar talent and to help you on your hiring journey. The reps at Worknigeria, please.
I know say all of us passing money, but I still want you. I'm in a big mood. Girl, I don't want you. Now only you, the cool my back there, nobody wants you. Yeah. Every night I go there, look your body. Baby girl, we go there, no so low. Nobody can tell me to leave my debut. And every night if you come to debut, when you wake up, you splash it on me.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Oh, sorry. Good evening. Are we tired already? All right. My name is Miracle Madu, brand communications and marketing lead at Worknigeria, and I also have my colleague here at Denike, recruitment talent acquisition specialist. So delighted to be in your midst this evening. So I just want to talk briefly about what Worknigeria is about. So at Worknigeria, what's actually brought the idea is that we realize that unemployment is a serious issue in Africa, especially in Nigeria. If we check the statistics, it's very, very overwhelming, right? A lot of youths are unemployed, there are no jobs. When you ask someone now, you discover that a lot of persons are looking for jobs. So it's a serious issue that is really eating deep into the economy, and it's impacting the society and everything negatively. So that was what brought the idea, and Worknigeria was birthed. So we have a vision, right, to put 1 million Nigerians back to work every year. You can imagine that kind of vision. So it's a very big vision, and we are doing all we can to make sure we live up to that vision. The testimonials are already out there, so we are helping a lot of youths get jobs, if not every day, every day, if not every day, every week, we are helping a lot of youths secure jobs and changing the narratives. And there's this thing that really stands us out, is because we are not trying to maybe milk the youth. We are not trying to, collect their money and there are some of these platforms that just want to drain the youth, and at the end of the day, nothing for them. So that's not what we're doing at Worknigeria. At Worknigeria, it's more like a very selfless, service from the depth of our hearts. So that's a part of the youth. And not just that, we also offer soft skill training, practical training to them to make them, more effective, so that when they go to these workplaces or wherever they're going to be hired, they'll be very useful to those organizations. And that's just one side. And the second side is the employer side of things. So we also offer services to employers. As we are trying to get works for job seekers, we are not going to manufacture those jobs from nowhere. We definitely have to connect with employers. So we verify employers, these organizations, to make sure we are taking these job seekers to the right organizations, not where they are going to be exploited. So on the basis of that, we offer a couple of services to employers. As you can see, we offer recruitment, that's general recruitment. We also offer manpower outsourcing. This is where you outsource your entire HR process to us. We hire them, we manage their payroll and everything about them, their training, everything about them. At the end of the day, yours is just to focus on the core operations of your business and why we do the HR aspect for you. They also offer background check services. So if you have a staff, you want to know whether, their address is actually correct, they are past employers, verification, we also do that. Then we also offer training and development. So one thing is to have staff. One thing is to have staff that are actually productive, that are giving you results. And that's where that service come into place. Then we also have expatriate management. I've talked about manpower. We have recruitment, outsourcing, and a couple of others. And of course, our website is worknigeria.com. So you can always visit worknigeria.com to see everything we are doing there. It's really, really amazing. And I'm using this opportunity to invite every one of us to worknigeria.com to see the amazing things we are doing out there. Thank you.
A round of applause, please, for Worknigeria, the good guys. Up next is our second exhibitors, Gaps, where they'll come on. A representative from Gaps, please, if you will. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Are we all upset? Good evening. Hi. Okay, just to ask, what do you think is the most important work tool, Does anybody want to have a go at it? What do you think is the most important tool as a business owner, as an employee? Sorry, I can't hear you. Your laptop, right? I mean, before you install your products or whatever, you need a laptop to power it. And that is where we come in. I mean, you already see the beautiful thing that we have to offer. So what essentially is Gamp? Gamp is an end-to-end device management solution company. That does sound like a mouthful, right? End-to-end, what does that mean? End-to-end means, at the point of entry, we would help you procure devices. Whether you're looking to buy brand new or you're looking to buy UK used devices, we're going to procure this for you. And also, if you want to pay upfront, who are we not to collect your money? But then if you choose to opt for a flexible payment option, spread out your payment across 3 to 6 months, that is also possible using Gamp. And then during the course of use, what is your maintenance culture like? How do you maintain your devices? Do you just go to Mr. Sura in Computer Village, right? And then he comes back, your device comes back with more issues than, how it went there, right? And also we offer comprehensive device protection plans, insurance, in that if your charging cable goes bad, we're going to replace it at zero cost. And then at the point where you need to phase out your old work tools, how do you dispose of your assets? And I don't mean throwing it away in the bin, proper asset disposal, ensuring that you degauss your laptops, right? Your data is not compromised. And then you can still get value for these old work tools. You can swap for cash or swap for newer work tools, right? You can do all of this essentially using Gamp. My colleagues will be handing out flyers, so you can just see a couple of our offerings that we have. We're happy to have you at our stand to get, more information about what we offer. Thank you.
A round of applause, please, for Gap. A round of applause, please, for them. They fix your device. And there's so much accessories that you need when it comes to working efficiently at your work. Repair your device, you can swap. And also it's reliable. And that's the most important thing. And you know who you can jack somebody if something goes wrong. Before they'll tell you stories at Computer Village. A round of applause, please, for them. Our next is our final fire chat for today. And this one, I am looking forward to it because I have a beef with one of the companies that this individual is representing. But first, are we tired? Are we tired? Are we tired? This our no is not convincing enough. So I'll take it that we're tired. We should go home now, Abi. Are we tired? Hey. Are we tired? So if I were to start a fight and be like, oh, team Davido one side, team Wizkid one side, everybody will get up, Abby. Does that work? Oh, she's not. See, it will work. So let's do it. Team Davido, team. Okay. So okay. All right. So for our last fireside chats before we come to an end, this one is a very, very insightful one, and also you are in safe hands for this discussion. It's about hiring and scaling a product team. Hiring and scaling a product team. Very important discussion. And to do that, the very first person I'd like to welcome, he is a Nigerian fintech executive with over 17 years of experience in digital financial services, marketing strategy, and strategic partnerships. He currently serves as Chief Product Officer at Sterling Bank, where he leads digital innovation and was instrumental in the upgrading the One Bank app to enhance user experience. I'm judging you. Please put your hands together as we welcome Mustapha Otaru. We can do better than that. There we go. He's coming in, and followed by the second person who is going to join him on stage. He's a technology and fintech executive with over 12 years of experience in product design, technical architecture, and consulting. He serves as Chief Product and Technology Officer at Peerless, a global SaaS company. Is that how you say it? Delivering solutions in core banking, CRM, that's customer relations management, and Islamic finance. It's Charles Ilo. He's the Chief Product and Technology Officer for Peerless. And they will be talking to us about hiring and scaling a product team. A round of applause, please. Very capable hands, and they're all dressed like people that have money. So afterwards, you can bill them. No? Please have a seat, gentlemen. Thank you. You can do better. At multiple space. You.
Okay, we need another mic. Good evening. Is it evening or afternoon? It's evening. Good evening, everyone. Per the introduction, I'm an ex-chief product officer at Sterling Bank. Now at Peerless as an executive director and chief commercial officer. So just to correct that, because there are a lot of cameras everywhere, and just to pick that. I think the title for us around hiring and scaling product team. First of all, maybe I should talk about Peerless and delve into the context of infrastructure and how it relates to product. And how it relates to the products that we build or that the customers get to interact with. While as a chief product officer, one of the pain points, especially in the financial service sector, is you not being able to develop or align the local context of your product to what the customers actually need. And if you're familiar with the financial sector, or especially the commercial banks, there's always the back end that powers what we see in the front, which is either the app or the web or whichever channel that is exposed to the customer. Over the years, most commercial banks, even fintechs, suffer from what people normally refer to as the legacy systems. And when they say the legacy system, they're talking about the core banking applications. Without mentioning any brand, most of the brands that are in the African markets are mostly, you hear Terminus, the owners of T24, or you hear Finacle, and many other. The implication of that is that it does not have what we normally refer to as the local context. Again, back to what I talked about, as a product person, you can't configure products as much that it suits the markets you operate. And if you also compare in terms of maturity of financial inclusion, for instance, in our market, compared to places in the Europe, or where some of these applications are coming from, they are quite advanced. So it now goes back to how the organizations in Nigeria, or financial institutions in Nigeria, really compete in terms of aligning to the changing needs of the local consumers and ensuring that you are not necessarily spending so much on your infrastructure. So that what brought about the need for the development of a local core banking solution. I will allow Charles to talk into what are the technicalities of what we have in terms of the product that we've we've developed in PLS. But from the context of the bank, and particularly Sterling, where I've worked, is the fact that those core banking applications are too expensive. On the average, I think there is an article in one of the popular online dailies that says between banks or financial institutions spend between $5 million to $10 million for core banking solution. That is really, really expensive. You need to buy the license. You need to also seek for support. And most of those providers or the owners of this stack are not residents here. Even their partners cannot technically support you as much as you need them to support you. Again, you're paying so much, you're not getting the best you can get, and you're not also able to ideate more on your product. So it becomes a limit for you, not just to compete globally, but even within your local context. So I'll just pause here so that I'll allow Charles to also talk about or to introduce the product that came out of this need and how we've evolved in terms of the implementation in Sterling and what are the experiences we've had so far. So Charles?
Thank you, Mustapha. You know, I like talking about this story because it's an African story, a story that we can all be proud of. The concept of the core banking that Mustapha is referring to was born out of, I would say, frustration with the value that, or lack of value that a lot of organizations get from foreign service or solution providers. And, you know, when you look at the technology space, the fintech space in Nigeria, it's saturated with a lot of fintechs providing solutions within the payment domain. So we call that the red ocean. There was really not a lot of solution providers, local solution providers addressing the enterprise space. And we saw that there was a lot of opportunity there. And we understood very quickly why a lot of people do not play in that space. The problems are hard. But we, you know, we had the vision, we had the resolve to take on that problem head on. And we had a problem statement. How do we make core banking solutions configurable? How do we make them pleasing to use? How do we make them flexible? Those were the three problem statements that we conceived at the start of the journey. And these problem statements were not conceived just by, you know, waking up and getting that inspiration. It was conceived by engaging. We took a poll of the different users of some of the core banking solutions that Mustapha mentioned. And we noticed that the prevalent themes were inflexible, cumbersome, difficult to navigate, and a lot of other adjectives that I don't want to say here. But at the end of the day, we just synthesized those things into three problem statements, and we created what we call an MVP. Interestingly, it coincided with, you know, Sterling's, would I say, strategy or transition or need to transition from their current solution provider. And it was like a, you know, what do they call it now? It was like a serendipitous moment where we had a solution and we had someone, you know, of the status of Sterling that wanted to try something new. And the rest is history.
The other part I would love to touch on, and thank you, Charles, for that additional context, is the fact that the product, the process of cutting over to a new core bank, it's like people describe it as if you're as if doctor performing an open heart surgery. And what is particularly unique about the cutover cutover for Sterling on the implementation for Sterling was the fact that Sterling was moving away from its own provider or its own stack to a fairly new stack that has never been tested, is not known, is new. And one of the proud moments for me during the implementation of the cutover was the fact that when you enter into the room, you don't see any other person but Nigerians and Africans that are in the room. What that tells you is that the talent and the level of skills that we have within these shores is really so massive that if we pay attention to awareness and really mine what we have, our human capital development is probably our biggest resource. So the migration, which is always the most critical part of it, is that you are doing it for an existing bank that has customers, that has products that is out in the market. So how do you manage that process seamlessly in a way that you create less pain for the customer? I'm sure a lot of us manage channels here in terms of product. I don't know how many of us manage product that are B2C here. A lot of us manage it. So you can imagine, anything that will cut you off or cut access of customers for you not to, for them not to use your product for 1 day or 1 week or anything. You need to plan properly for it, right? So that process was meticulously done in a way that it ensures that at every stage of the way, first was to prioritize the channel. Which channel are you going to move first? What is going to go next? Which is the most least painful? So there were so many options on the table, and this, you cannot do that without the collaboration of course, the product team, the back-end engineering team, who else? The operations team. Again, you also know that commercial banks or financial services generally are heavy on back-end operations, so you need to take care of that. And then again, there's also the dynamics of the physical channels as well, which is the bank, the branches. So you need to also cater to that, because the next thing, when customers don't see their money, there's likelihood that they go where? To the branches to complain. They will need a physical person to go and complain to. So all those processes, needs to be meticulously managed, planned, and of course you have to go through the least painful options. Again, that is a huge risk. So for a commercial bank that is already very operational, what I also mean is that the other part of the story that people don't say is that when you're migrating data, you have a risk of losing a lot of record. So you need somebody that's, that understand it. You need people that understand the skills, the right kind of skill set in the room that knows how to manage the technicalities of data migration to ensure that, again, when so that people don't wake up tomorrow, they have 100,000 in their balance, then by evening, they didn't do anything, suddenly they're having zero balance. We did experience some of those issues, but however, we managed it so well that, we had what I would refer to maybe at least painful options for the customers. I don't know what that context you might want to provide, Charles.
I think you've highlighted a trait of Nigerians that was manifested during the cutover. And that trait is resilience. I think Nigerians are the most resilient people on the face of the planet because we go through a lot and we still come out smiling. And the migration, the cutover to the product called CBAS, by the way, was a test of that resilience. And Mustapha has sort of highlighted some of the challenges. And without going into too much detail, the thing that stuck with me and still has and still sticks with me is the way people rose up to address those challenges head on because they didn't want customer experience to be impacted. I mean, one of the things that I, give to Sterling Bank is they're focused on the customers. So while there were certain glitches in the cutover, some channels were down and all that kind of stuff, the last resort that Mustapha talked about, the branches, was an avenue where the tellers, the people, the customer service reps really stood, the gap and ensured that they provided the right succor to customers that, had all these concerns. So I would just like to highlight that resilience, and I think that as every Nigerian here, we should be very proud of that, inherent trait that we have in us.
I talked a bit about the product, but there's one other part I also need to touch on, which is the team. One of the most critical thing, again, we've talked about the talent, the skills, and everything that we have. Again, I also took time to listen to some of the pitch earlier. And one thing that also resonated with me is that, look, as product people, because everything that we manage, whether it's a tech infrastructure, at the end of the day, is a product that we're selling to either a B2B or to B2B, it's a product, right? Is that the fundamentals of ideation and product discovery, you cannot overemphasize that stage. Because I think that one of the things that worked well for CBAS or for PLS or even Sterling that we're doing the cutover for was the fact that we were clear. The discovery of what needed to be done was clear. And again, the kind of people and the kind of talent that needed to be put in place were also very clear. For instance, I recall that the first painful 2 weeks of that cutover was when my own work started, because that was when I had to start managing the channels. What I think worked for us generally was the fact that, if you recall, that we had dominated strong hands, what we will refer to people that had both legacy knowledge and, of course, contemporary knowledge of how some of this infrastructure was, how product management also worked, also interfacing with the customer, understood certain things from the customer perspective. Was the fact that we had people that, for instance, I know I had a team that they were solely dedicated to reviewing all product ledgers. Because, for instance, if I take one bank had a ledger on its own. So it needed those ledgers needed to be accurate. So we are moving from one place to the other. It needed to be as clear. So building a team or having the right set of product team, you cannot overemphasize it at all time because they need to understand. So somebody had asked me sometimes to say, look, whenever you're speaking to product managers, what do you actually look out for? Is it the skill? Is it the attitude? The truth about it is, I've sat in so many interviews to hire senior product managers, right? I don't look for skills, sorry. What I basically look for is attitude. You see, that ability to want to do something, that ability to want to go the extra mile is really what you look out for. You can have a lot of people that have all the skills. They can have their skills, they're not willing, they can't move. So most times, we also need to, in the process of migration or doing everything, the people that actually move the needle or move the mountain, that I normally would say, are really the people. And those people are, when you talk about resilience, they were the one that came to my mind. And I know the level of details and the level of work that needed to go into it.
Yes, at the end of the day, products will not build themselves. Even in the age of AI, you still need people to coordinate whatever AI agents that you're using. So you can never underemphasize or overemphasize the importance of people. And more importantly, like Mustapha has said, the attitude. I think for every high-performing team, whether it's a product team or any sort of team, what makes them tick is that every individual that has a role to play within that team plays that role excellently well. And you realize that for the winning teams and for those of us that watch football, it's not necessarily about the individual talent. It's about the attitude of everyone to support the team goal. And I think what Mustapha has said around hiring for attitude and not aptitude is one of the nuggets that we should take and apply in our various domains. When you look for talent, I think you should make the skill the secondary and look at the attitude that you think will take you where you want to go.
Okay, I think I see the moderator already sitting in front. That tells us that our time is up. But just round up, this is I want to believe this is a product community. I think that you cannot emphasize the importance of having the right infrastructure to power product. It's really if you're within the context of digital products
and of narrowing it down to financial service product. If infrastructure is very, very expensive, what that also means is that the final price to the customer that we also offer is also going to be very expensive. At the end of the day, affordability becomes a thing. Financial inclusion that we're also trying to build is also become a thing. With CBAS, with what we have in our hand today, it's a local banking, core banking application. It's open for fintech and any commercial bank, even MFBs. So the solution is available across in the market today, and we are open to deploy anywhere globally. It's an African-driven idea. Is an African-driven product. In PLS, we say we are Afro-optimists, right? We're very, very Afro-driven, and we're very interested in local talent. And of course, we also believe that strongly that everything that we need for Africa to strive, to Africa to grow, is here. And particularly Nigeria, we do not need to look elsewhere. It's home, and we have everything that we need in this country. So thank you so very much for having us.
Thank you.
Is it bad if I pipe and leave? Her ex-man fell off, she made man jello and said it's better than rice and peas. So rock no chase, your bum can't fit in them jeans, there's no space. I tell her come climb on my wood and go ape. Them girls say they're happy for you, they're so fake. Back shots now I'm pulling on bundles. She don't take money from uncles. Savage on my neck says she liking the smell. Can't do it like us, man, I lie to my tell. So rock with the eyes, live life, never worry about the price. Fake fires, I can see it in your eyes. Yeah, she just wanna get told off.
Yeah, it's so hold me that life. Never let another man try. Pull up on my girl, it's that time. Yeah, she just
Thank
wanna
you
get
for
told
an amazing session. My first question. Sorry, my first question is what advice will you give to a local, let me say, local business looking to build like an infrastructure in an infrastructure in a system that is dominated by international brands. So let me give context. The product we are working in is for in the CRM world, but it's kind of dominated by like international brands. So what are some of the things that helped you in building a product that would encourage people to migrate? Because mostly like they are already used to like the systems they are using. Though there are a lot of pain points that we've identified, a lot of gaps, especially with like the currency challenges and access to support. But what are the things that you put into your products that made it like encourage these businesses to migrate from like what they are using to what like you have to offer? Then secondly, sorry, the last question. Especially for like a lean startup, we talked about hiring like the right people, and we know like with hiring the right people, it comes at a cost. Like good people comes at like a high price. How do you manage that, and also like creating a sustainable team, like people that can grow with you, that's from start to finish, so that you can kind of sustain like some of the processes you've put in place? Thank you.
Which one are you taking? Okay. The first. Okay, so I'll just try and answer them. Then Charles will also chime in. First, around what will make a local, what will make other people migrate to you from a dominated, a globally dominated market like a CRM. I think the advantage here is that, again, I mentioned the word local context. I didn't say local content. I know everybody is used to local content. What I mean by context is that in terms of content and value and evaluation and everything is local. So you understand the local pain point. You know the people. You are with the people. You understand the market, right? That's the advantage you have over those ones. You talked about gap. That's one way to do. So what are those gaps that those products have today that you will solve for? Again, to go back to your problem. Again, which is why I said it that the foundation of every product should be a well thought out discovery stage, right? If your discovery stage is right, which means your problem is well defined, it means that you are focused on the gaps that you see today in the market. There is always even the product you are developing, tomorrow there's a gap, right? So you need to identify that gap critically, right? And be willing to offer. You don't want to know what we also use to bait Sterling or organization to come and test the product. That product you're developing. One of the things today that happens in the product world, especially when people are just trying to start up, is that you build a product, you just put a price, one high price, and you're already benchmarking a global price that is already known. That's a wrong strategy, in my opinion, right? Are you ready to give that what you are developing, to sweat it in a way that you can give them 6 months for free? In a way that once they get in and they see that, oh, this solves XYZ problem for me, they won't go back. They will stay with you, right? So the conversation to even migrate, you won't be the one that will even gonna have it. They will call you to come and please migrate us to it. You talked about the price of talent. You have to pay it, right? There's an adage in a local language that the soup that is what? I think it's an Igbo language. The soup that is sweet, what? Namonikilam, right? So that's what comes with it. The truth about it is there are 2 routes to it, right? I'm also a hire. I hire a lot of product. By virtue of my role, it means that I have to hire people. There are 2 things. Either you want to hire people you want to develop, or you hire people that are already formed. But one thing I do, it depends on the function, or depends on the kind of product. Also depends on the kind of idea of go-to-market that you have, right? I always prefer to hire people that I can mold. But the risk, it comes a risk. By the time you are done with them, they want to japa, right? That's the risk, right? But the truth about it is, if you also deal compensation very well, be willing to give part of your company to others. I see that behavior today because I'm the one that thought about it. I founded it. I don't want to share in the revenue. No, please. By global standard, give at least 20 to 15% of your company for your employees as shareholdings. That way, you can talk about retainership, long-term succession plan, and everything. Please, that should be a practice. Don't be too greedy. 5% of something is something. 0% of anything is what? Is 0. You get the context. So be willing to be open, right? And also share a part of your company to others. I don't know what you have to say. I think I answered your question. I think
she seems good with the answer, but I think the other thing I would add is when you're building technology products and you want to convince people to stay using your products, you must ensure that it's reliable, because technology is nothing if it's not reliable. So that's the other thing I'll add.
Yeah, very quick. I've followed Charles and I've followed you as well when you are MTN, and then Charles from your KPMG days. I've always wondered what you were doing next. But my question is... No, what he was doing next. I knew what you were doing with Sterling. But my question, you've answered partly the question, and I think you guys have like the background to be able to sell the solution, I'd say, because it's a very hard solution to sell because it's fundamental. But I think, what would you say is the biggest thing you use to convince possible or prospective clients to trust? Because even with KPMG, for example, you have the backing of this big enterprise. With Sterling, you have an established organization. But when you're selling this, apart from your backgrounds, what about the product, or is there anything else that you had that was a very good selling point?
I think you should, I wish it was a B2C so that you try the product. I think the first thing with core banking systems is that it is cumbersome. The slightest business need will require a customization that costs a lot of money. With CBAS, we pride ourselves that 90% of business outcomes are achieved through configuration, through the front end. So that is enough said.
And one other thing, yeah, just quickly, is the fact that CBAS today is an open secret. It has 22 modules. Traditional core banks, if you are buying a core bank, you have to carry everything, right? With CBAS, you can come to me. We've had clients that they've just come to us and say, no, we just want the loan modules, we just want loan services, or we just want investment. You don't have to carry everything. There are basics. For instance, of course, the customer management, you need to get it. The KYC management, you need to get it. But again, you can then sort of pick which of the yes. So that's really a major selling point. I'm not going to tell you my trade secret though. Thank you so much.
Round of applause, please, for the gentleman, for Mustapha, Otaru, and of course for Charles Ilo. Keep clapping, please. And also, well done to everyone who's been sticking around, because this is the grand finale. All right, this is the climax of the evening, the crescendo. All that we've been waiting for is about to unfold right in front of our eyes. Out of the three teams, Team 2, Team 3, and Team 9, 2 from Nigeria, 1 from South Africa who joined us virtually. 1 is called Address Me from South Africa, addressing address issues in Africa, formal addressing in Africa, particularly in their home country. We also have the 2 teams from Nigeria, 1 solving agriculture and the second solving fake counterfeit drugs in our healthcare system. Please let me welcome our judges onto the stage that would announce our winners of the 100. Apparently, the scores have not been compiled yet. There might be a tie somewhere. I see my lovely gentlemen all huddled there like penguins in the movie Happy Feet when they're waiting to... people don't know this analogy. Chai. Anyway, to give a vote of thanks for all of the hard work that I've done here. Have I not tried? No, this answer, I don't like it too. Have I not tried? Nah, I'm going to keep you all here. Have I not tried? There we go. So much better. Please put your hands together. To give us a closing remarks is the fund manager for Innovate Africa Organization, Chiebuka Ebusolu. Hopefully I got that correctly. Obusolu. Here she go. Round of applause for her, please, and for me. Thank you. We can do better now. She's tried. She's run around, put this thing together. She did it well. Chiebuka, I'm sorry for butchering something in the name there. Forgive me.
Just in case anybody cares, it's Chiebuka Obumsen. I think I'd like to start by thanking those of you who are still here, because you've made it up till the end of the event, and it's been a really long day, so please put your hands together for yourselves. This event has been a long time in the making, a long time coming, and I'm really glad that we've managed to put together what I think has been a meaningful experience for everyone who attended. And so I'd like to start by thanking our incredible partners who collaborated with us to make this day possible. MoneyPoint, InterSwitch, Innovate Africa Foundation, LSCTF. Thanks to their support, we were able to put together all the programming that you saw here today. I would also like to thank the volunteers who joined us today to help you navigate this experience. I would like to thank the exhibitors who joined us, showcase their products. I would also like to thank our host, Judith Atibi, for the work she has done to get. Please put your hands together for her. In my round of thanks, I would also like to extend our gratitude to all the vendors who have made this event a success, from the sound guys to the tech people, the people who put together the booths, the furniture vendors, the people who served lunch. They've helped to make sure that you've had an enjoyable day today. So please also put your hands together for them. This event was brought about by the tireless work of a hardworking and smart team of people. And so I'd like to also thank my colleagues, starting with the investment analysts at Innovate Africa Fund, Blessing and Moing. Please put your hands together for those two girls who managed the hackathon process and made sure that we had problem statements for the teams to work on and sprints that finally brought together this finale. Next, I would like to thank Taibat, who is our communications analyst. Please put your hands together for Taibat. Every graphic that you see here today is the work of Taibat. These banners, the logos, everything done, every visual asset was Taibat's work. And I'm sure that you've noticed that she spent most of her day sitting with the tech team just to make sure that everything is on the screen when it should be and as it should be. So I would like to thank her for her incredible work. Thank you, Taibat. I would also like to thank Yejide, who's not here, but she works with us on community and partnerships. Her efforts will also help to bring this event together. Finally, she might not want me to do this, but I would like to thank our managing partner, Kristen Wilson. Please, people, ovation, ovation. Put your hands together. Kristen is super brilliant, and we managed to put this event together in record time due to her dedication, her foresight, her commitment. And she's really passionate, as the rest of us, about product execution, design thinking, and really great solutions. And so this is the brainchild of the Innovate Africa ecosystem, made up of the fund and Innovate Africa Foundation. So I would also like to thank them as our partners. Please put your hands together for Innovate Africa Foundation. I wonder if Tina is still here. If she is, she's been here all day. Is Tina in the crowd? No, she isn't. We have multiple partners, media partners. I can't begin to name them all, so I won't try, but they know themselves and we know the impact that they've had on the success of this event. And so I'm extending my gratitude to them as well. Innovate Africa Foundation, as you know, is dedicated to empowering 100,000 product people across the world by the year 2030, thus providing 10 million jobs. They are a sister organization, and in the Innovate Africa ecosystem, we are really passionate about working with product people to tackle some of the most wicked problems on the African continent. We'll be talking a bit more about products at our next event, the Inspire Africa Conference in Kigali. You can see a little bit about that on this roll-up banner, and you can also visit the website www.inspireafricaconference.com. Tickets are going at a discount now, so if you'd like to attend and engage with other product professionals in the Nigerian and African ecosystem, please scan the QR code on the roll-up banner and secure your tickets. We hope to see you there. Before we come to a close, sorry, I would also like to just let you know that once the hackathon results are announced, we will close up with a little mixer outside. There'll be food, there'll be snacks, there'll be a chance for you to engage with everyone who's seated here and just, relax after a really long day of intense talks, chats, and whatnot. So please hang around once the results are announced, mix with people here. And let me not forget to thank those of you who have stayed to the end of the day. We do this for you. And without you, this event would not be possible. So thank you so much for your dedication. And we hope that we will see you at our next event. We hope that you will continue to engage with us in our community. And we hope that the work that we do truly inspires you to build solutions to some of the most pressing problems on the continent. Thank you.
A round of applause, please, for Chibuka. You can do better. All right, so we had to do a bit of edging. That was a bad joke. Time for the crescendo. Together, so welcome the judges for our hackathon finale to announce the winner. Starting with this lady is a venture builder and tech ecosystem strategist with a strong focus on debt and equity financing. She has been recognized as a Dream VC Fellow, highlighting a commitment to fostering innovation and entrepreneurship within the African tech landscape. Her work emphasizes the development of sustainable ventures and the empowerment of startups through strategic financial solutions. Please welcome Esohi Igbonoma, Igbinoba. There we go, Igbinoba. Venture builder and founder, Kotri Builders. The next is Oyidamola Egbeyemi. She's a director of programs and coordination, director of programs and coordination at Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. She's also a Nigerian entrepreneur. She's an educator and public sector leader with a diverse background spanning engineering, consulting, education, and social impact. She currently serves as a director of programs and coordination at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, where she oversees the implementation of initiatives aimed at supporting micro, small, and medium enterprises and enhancing workforce development in Lagos State. Please put your hands together for Oyidamola Egbeyemi. Oh, she's not here. Moving on, shall we, to the general manager. This lady is the general manager. Oh, there's so many ladies on stage today. Hell yeah. Yeah, right. This lady is the general manager at, hopefully I got that correctly, Hawks. I hope that's it, Hawk. Anyway, she's also a community-driven, which is a community-driven platform, community-driven investment platform, I beg your pardon, that connects African investors with high-growth startups across the continent. Now, since joining the company in 2021, she has advanced from an assistant role to leading the organization, streamlining operations, hosting events, and supporting both founders and investors with a master's degrees in accounting from Babcock University and a certification in product management from Alt School Africa. Folakemi combines financial expertise with a passion for venture capital and angel investing. Please put your hands together for Folakemi Osho. How do you say the company name? Hoke, so I got it correctly. Yeah, general manager at Hoke. And finally, please put your hands together for the brain behind this day, the managing partner at Innovate Africa Fund. She crafts innovative solutions that combine human operations, data analysis, as well as software to drive growth for SMEs and startups in sub-Saharan Africa. Please welcome the managing partner, Innovate Africa Fund, Christine Wilson. There we go. All right, so they're going to do the announcements.
Okay. Thank you everyone for, first off, waiting till the end. We really do appreciate that. And we want to just give a quick shout out to the teams. You did a really good job. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your problems, solutions, what you intend to do with the product and why you're solving the problem rather. So thank you very much. So, are we excited? Do we have an idea who won? I'm quite curious. Oh, does anybody want to tell me? Tell me. Why? Okay. Great. Thank you so much. Yes. So the winner of this particular, demo day is going to be winning $30,000 in product coaching, $10,000 in AWS credits and AI, $10,000 in workforce management support, $50,000 in equity investment available for bringing the product to market. Do you want to give a round of applause? Because that's amazing. Yes? Yes. Right. And all the participating teams will also receive $5,000 in AWS credit.
So now to the winners. I feel like I want to do a drum roll. Come on. Okay. So the winner of this particular demo day is. Oh, I'm so excited. Everybody's looking at me. Address Me. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Yes? Do we have a representative for them? Okay. Yes. All right. So the winner of this particular demo day is Address Me. Let's give them a round of applause, please.
Round of applause for the judges, please. Thank you very much. Let's take a photograph. You guys are my winners. I really hot you guys. Yeah, there we go. That's my fan. I love him. Those are my winners. I'm kind of sad. I was rooting for you guys. I really was. You guys have something, okay? Don't give up, man. You got something, I'm telling you. Once again, many thanks to everyone. Please do remember there's a mixer just right outside, cocktails and small chops, and so you can connect and meet with everyone. Thank you all for coming, and this officially brings us to the very end of this event. And congratulations to everyone who's celebrating the World Product Day for 2025 comes to an end. A round of applause.